Yeah, hi there. Welcome to the cottage again. So I'm not out and about today, so there's a reason for that. So I want to talk about something, well, for me, perhaps, just for me, it's too complicated to do that outside because I need some quiet room for that. I have to focus on that. So some of you might now come up and just saying, well, you did a tobacco review on a bicycle, so yeah, well, I don't know, I was younger then, so I don't know, I was, but this was 2 years ago, so I don't know, YTPC cost me years of my life, so no, no, I'm so glad about all that, so much appreciated, so just last week I thought, because of the channel, I've seen places I think I would never have gone before that, or I just needed a reason for that. I would just wanted to show that, and sometimes it was the first time I saw that myself. So yeah, that's yeah, so I very much appreciate it, and all the community, and talking about community, so having some coffee here, so well, it's not too hot today, so we can't really say that. Cooled down, weather cooled down, but just for 2 or 3 days, I think. There's another heat coming up, for sure, but right now, well, that's okay. Well, it's very windy, and perhaps we're expecting some rain, but let's see that. Weather was so dry last few weeks, so the land is very dry. So, but speaking of community, so I don't know, a week ago I think it was, or 10 days, somebody contacted me, somebody hit me just on the YouTube, private function, which doesn't exist any longer, so I think. Anyway, he said, well, I'm in Bremen, and would like to meet, so we met at Ronnie's place. Cafetero Piper. He's from Colombia, and we had a nice chat, and we talked about tobacco, different tobaccos, and I don't know, he asked for my suggestions, so, and we were just talking, and the next day I showed up at Ronnie's, and he said, well, there's a gift for you, so, and he just had the kindest gift for me, so, you know, it just, I don't know, for the recommendation I did, or, yeah, just for appreciation, or whatever. So he had left me some really great coffees, and since I really like coffee, thanks a lot for that, so much appreciated, even some cacao, so, yeah. Really great stuff. So I tried different samples. So at least those were different samples in a box, and yeah, much appreciated, and really good coffee. So and that's one of my points. So not the main point, of course. So coffee and tobacco, that combines pretty well. So there's a good friend, a new presenter. Who's talking about that. I guess you already know that, so I don't want to intervene with that. So, but yeah, when I drink coffee, or when I think about coffee and I smoke, I think that several tobaccos that cross in my mind, and one of those that will be Burley. So Burley and Kentucky. So that these are my favorites to combine with coffee. So since I like my coffee double French roast, so very strong, and yeah, and underlined with a roasty note. So and I think that pretty much combines to burley tobacco. And I wanted to do a video for several weeks about burley flake tobacco. Since there is a new tobacco on the market, this is done by Mac Baren. So, and that will be this tobacco. So don't worry, I'm gonna show you that on a closer look very soon. So it's Aged Burley Flake. So we all know these the HH series by Mac Baren. So some guys want to know what does this HH mean? Doesn't mean it is aged or whatever. So no, it is not. So this is just an honor to Harold Holberg, who is the founder of the Mac Baren company, and that was at the end of the 19th century. I think it was in 1887. And when he opened his first shop, this company, and already producing tobaccos and so on, well, you can see all that if you just visit the Mac Baren website. There's a nice picture of Harold Holberg and his shop. I suggest take a closer look at that. Well, that's the historian in me. Take a closer look at the picture. So on the left side, you see a little boy that's walking into the picture, I guess. I'm not sure about that, but I think so. And when I see those pictures, this kind of pictures, it always gets my I don't know, my fantasy started about what happened next. So after the photo, so I don't know if they, the photographer and Harold Holberg, if they really appreciated the boy coming straight up, just ruining the pictures. I'm not sure about that. And the picture itself is very interesting because there's some window reflections. You can see a lot of things in the window reflections, which is not part of the plan normally, and well, those things not part of the plan. Those are the interesting parts. So anyway, so Harold Holberg, he was the founder of the company, and in honor to Harold Holberg, there is a series HH, and there's HH Virginia, HH Kentucky. So I've already talked about several of these HH tobaccos. And when you name something after the founder of the company, I think there is a commitment to quality, or at least it should. So we all know how things go. It's also marketing, and it's also about business. But there should be some kind of commitment to the quality of the product. And well, since it's Mac Baren, we don't have to talk about that for long, just for too long, because I think every one of us knows the quality of Mac Baren tobaccos and what Mac Baren is able to produce. So I don't know if they always do when it comes to the aromatics, for example, and the rest is a matter of taste. But they really know their stuff. So it's a company that is reliable, and especially to certain tobaccos. So, but I'm telling you, all that just dry. So without smoking, my pipe is still empty. So, and I just want to get my pipe started, so give me a little break. So there's a reason why I didn't fill this pipe already. As you already have seen in the title of the video, I want to do a comparison between the very well-known and established tobacco Solani Aged Burley Flake, which is really well known, and there is already a video about Solani Aged Burley Flake on the channel. And I did this a long time ago, and I haven't rewatched it, so I didn't revisit the video before I did do this video. So I have no idea if that's going to be a very, I don't know, very different. I don't know. Let's see that. I hope not. But there was a reason. So I wanted to go straight to the tobacco without knowing my opinion of the old days. So I just wanted to do it new. So and I already packed a pipe with Solani's Aged Burley Flake, and I'm gonna pack a pipe with the Aged Burley Flake done by Mac Baren. And there's a reason for that, because so many guys, they're always asking, how do you pack the flake and so on. And, well, that's not a beginner's channel. There are many channels out there. They do all these things with packing a pipe, cleaning pipes, and so on. And I'm not into that. So, well, packing is something, I don't want to say intimate. Well, it's something, and I don't want to say private, but yeah, that's something everyone does a little bit different, I think. And this is, I don't know, it's like weather or football or something else. It's something you can always talk about. So, how to pack. I think there are many paths to paradise in that case. So. And I don't know if there's really a wrong way. For me, certainly some ways are, because I can't have a proper smoke balance. But anyway, many different methods. I just show you what I do, and it's not a secret, and it's not my I don't know. That's not a Bremen pipe smoker method or something like that. I don't want to establish any more name-related methods. I don't want to say something about other channels, but yeah, anyway, I just stopped there. Okay, what I do is, I just take, I don't know, proper amount. It doesn't matter if you take too much, just leave it in the tin, so there will be another smoke. And let's say I take a proper quantity, and I just take it and just put it in the other hand and just break it down like that, and then I just take it and go round and round and try to do a bowl. So don't do too much, so because then it gets too, I don't know, when tobacco gets too short, it could be complicated. So if you have this kind of bowl, you just take that. Yeah, didn't really work this time. What did you expect when the camera is on? So anyway, I just stuff that and just try to. Best thing is to do it at once. So just in one kind of slowly, smoothly drilling. Just try to make it fit without any force. And then just a little bit press. And no, don't do too much. It's a flake tobacco. It's already pressed for themselves. And you can do another press afterwards. So that's just how I do it. So, okay, let me take the chance to show you the tobacco. Yeah, well, let's start with the tin. So you see, I'll just show you the tin first. So, yeah, that's how it looks, and it's not that exciting, but anyway, inside, it's properly done. A nice golden paper here to wrap it up. There's a well, that should be something normal. That should be something we shouldn't even talk about that, but there's a reason why I talk about that. You will understand very quickly. So, okay, and that's the tobacco. really looks fine. I'm gonna show you that another time when I compare that to the Solani. But let me just line up first. Yeah, that's better. So I'm gonna talk about the notes very soon. Let me just mention one or two things first. So this tobacco, this Mac Baren Aged Burley Flake, came up, I don't know, 2 months ago or whatever. So not a long while ago. And it is done by Mac Baren. That's a European company. And when I saw videos on the YDPC, I think Brother Berg, he did a video on that. I'm sure he did a video, but I think that was the first video I saw. And I thought, yeah, well, I haven't seen that. I missed something. I went to Ronnie's. He never heard about that. So Ronnie asked the representative for Mac Baren, who's in contact with the shops. He never heard about that. Well, I thought, isn't that strange? So I was asking Mac Baren directly, so I just hit him, just wrote him a letter and was asking him, well, when is this tobacco coming up in Germany and in Europe, or is it coming at all, and when? And second question, why? Why is it, and that's not the first case here, why is it that those HH flake tobaccos done by Mac Baren, they coming up in the US at one point, and I don't know, a long time after that, and we talking about, I think we're talking about years. I'm not sure. I don't have proof for that, so I haven't really researched that on the single tobaccos. But it feels like that. There is really a long time between coming up with products in the US and in Europe, and that's a European company. So don't get me wrong. It's not about well, this is not Europe first, so not a Europe first thing. So for sure, it's not about that. Well, you know, I appreciate you guys and the guys that you have it at least. So because like I got 2 tins by my very good friend Corey from Portland Pipe Smoker, and I just hit him and said, well, Corey, help me out. I need the stuff, so just send me 2 tins. And he said, yeah, well, immediately. Consider it done. So, and it came very quickly. Thank you so much for that, Corey. So it's not about that. It's just about something. I don't know if you feel the same, or if you got the same feel on that. Something is just wrong. So when there is a company, and that is at the corner of your street, they produce something, you can't buy it. So if you want to get it, you have to have a friend that is 10,000 kilometers away and has to send it with a package, although it's produced right down your alley, so just at the corner of the street. So, well, we all know that's global market, and that's, I don't know, so I was asking about the reasons. So well, they couldn't tell me any reasons. So they said, well, you will understand. Well, we can't tell you any reasons why we do things or handle things this way or that way. So handle things that so not even the representative heard about the tobacco. So I don't think that's yeah, excuse me, but I think something is wrong. If globalization of world trading just means that, I don't know, and I'm not sure why they do it. So well, we don't have 1950, so we don't know all those things. We have the internet, so so they have to know that we know that there's new tobacco, and well, they have to explain why we can't get it. So but I don't know, they're just counting on that we don't watch the internet. So so well, they have a paper about what is new, what's coming up, and so on here in Germany, and I read this, and there wasn't a single word about that. So it was about different tobaccos that are coming up and they're distributing and so on. But not a single word about that. Not coming soon or whatever. So okay, I will stop complaining about that. So, but that's just my honest opinion. So excuse me for that. So Mac Baren is a great company. There's no doubt about that. For me, I don't know. It took me years to really discover that. When I was a beginner in pipe smoking. I don't even remember when that was. 25 years ago. So I don't really care about those Mac Baren tobaccos because they were some kind of old-fashioned to me. So I always thought about Mac Baren as an old-fashioned company, and it took me years to discover that this is old-fashioned in a good way. So and perhaps for me that describes it very much. So old-fashioned in a good way. So they really know about their stuff. They do in traditional tobacco, and they do it for a long time. And those tobaccos, we would miss them. I think much more than we will miss downhill tobaccos. But that's just my that's just my view on that. So. So no doubt about that, but this kind of policy or whatever, so in trading, so I don't know, perhaps I'm too old-fashioned for that. So yeah, anyway, I will stop with that. The tobacco. So let's compare these two tobaccos, because I think this is an interesting point. Yeah, my idea was, if there's a new Burley Flake coming up, it should be compared to the Solani Burley Flake, which is, in my opinion, the most established and perhaps best known Burley Flake on the market. And it is great tobacco, so it's one of Solani's perhaps best tobaccos. Certainly was the best, or one of the best. I don't like the best. So the term, let's say one of the best flake, Burley Flakes on the market, and perhaps even one of the best flakes at all. So a traditional one. I'll show you the tin. So if you watch the old video, you will find out that they changed the tin. I'm gonna say a word about that, be sure. So this is the new tin. They didn't change the picture, but the tin. So, and the warning sticker, of course. So it is produced by Kohlhase, which is another very fine company, German company. They do really good stuff, the red trace tobaccos and so on. If you watch the channel, you already know that, but I'm pretty sure you know anyway. That Kohlhase, they know their stuff. As in every case, they have their, I don't know, their main tobaccos, and they have their things they're really up to, and other things like, they're not bad, but just the normal stuff, let's say that. But the Solani Burley Flake is really a brilliant tobacco, and we all know that. So, number one, the new tin. So, they had it in this kind of tin, so like the Mac Baren, like Mac Baren does for the flakes. So, and this corner tin, and now they have a round tin. So, the thing is, this tin, I don't know, has at least 2 times the size of the old tin. And one of the advantages for smoking flake always was you can just put it easily in your pocket. So that's gone now. So, alright. The advantage would be you can close the tin, and it's pretty close. So you can store that not for years, but for months or whatever. So if you really close carefully. So, well, that's alright. So, okay, you can discuss that. The reason why they do the round tins now is I don't think they do it for the customer to make sure that the tobacco won't dry out. I don't think so. I think they want to have all the same tins for all the tobaccos. So they just order one kind of tin, and that's, I don't know, it's about saving some cents, I think. So, yeah. Alright. I'm not sure if you want to sell a high quality, expensive tobacco, if it's a good idea to save some cents on the tin. So, but okay, that's not my business. Something else. If you open the tin and you take a look at that. So, what the heck is that? This is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen, I don't know, in packing tobaccos. You got a round tin, and I don't know if it just, perhaps they had a million of these colored papers, and they didn't want to waste it, and they're using that in a round tin. Sorry, but I don't know. I don't have any words. So, alright. You open that up, and I'll show you the problem. So, well, of course, this paper isn't really good to open in a round tin. So it's not made for that. So, and what happens? So you crumble that stuff, and after a while, after 2 or 3 pipes, all the small pieces, they will fall aside and will get between the paper and the tin. Now after a while, you're just searching for some crumbled stuff in between paper and tin. So I don't know, and it's not cheap tobacco. So isn't it really possible to, if you use a round tin, that you use a round paper then? So they have it, they use it for other stuff, but guess they just, I don't know, had a million of those rests or whatever. I'm not sure how they do it, or how the process and production is. Perhaps that's just because they don't understand, and just, that's perhaps just a lack of information. So, but, and if they tell me, I don't know, would say, yeah, well, that's reasonable, maybe, so. But I'm just a simple customer, so I don't really understand. Anyway, we can live with that. So, what I do normally is I just take out the tobacco, take out the paper, put the tobacco back in, so that's it. Well, I show you the tobacco, and then we have the first comparison. So I take a piece of flake. So slice. Let me get one. Mac Baren. So we have a Solani. So that's the Solani. I'll show you that. Camera, come on. Very nice looking. Very brown. Even a bit moist still. It feels good. We have the Mac Baren. So you see, that's what you see on moment one. Don't get my face and just, alright, so you see it is different tobacco, and that's a good news. So I think that's a good news. So that's not always the case. For example, the Solani, you can get the Solani, so the really same tobacco you can get under different brand names. So this, for example, is Ronnie's version of the Solani Burley Flake. Well, I think it's called a special mixture Burley F. The F word for flake. And it's exactly the same, and it's done by Coalhouse, and it has the same price. So. Alright, so we don't have to talk about that, but you can get it in different German shops, and you can get the Solani Burley Flake from different brands. So we have to keep that in mind. There are not so many Burley Flakes on the market as we might think, because many of them are just Solani Burley Flakes. Anyway, so that's the good news. This tobacco is really new and is really different. It really is. So, alright. Alright, so, when it comes, when you open those tins, what is your first impression of the tobacco? Well, you've already seen that there is a difference in color. So the Mac Baren is a bit brighter and lighter. There is a reason for that, because Mac Baren, they don't use only Virginia, so it's a Burley, sorry. So it's a Burley-based tobacco, but they also use Virginia and a hint of Kentucky. That's what they say. And well, that's obviously right. So because if you take a first whiff of that, you get some woody notes, earthy notes, but you also got some typical Virginia notes. So in a good way. So well, it's a little hay note, but not in a bad way. So a little hay note. Some guys even say, well, they detect citrus, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah. Very typical notes you got from Burley and Virginia, and in the back, a hint of Kentucky. Well, that's really just in the background. So, and the Solani, is different. So it's much more wood, leather, perhaps even something like fig, or so something very, very rich. So something that's sweet but heavy. Yeah. Perhaps even a slightly pepper, no? So that's different. The slices, or just how it feels. Well, you know the feeling if you just feel some flake tobacco, if you just have it in your hands. It's a bit sticky. Well, can you see that? Look at that. So it's a bit sticky, in a good way. So let's try the other one. Yeah, pretty much the same. not with the same amount. So perhaps what seems to be a little bit drier and a little bit less sticky. And I think that's not related to the humidity. That's related to what is in that. So the amount of sugar. That's what I guess. Okay, it's time to light up the Solani. So I got two reliable pipes with me for those always like to ask. So that's one of my Aged Burley pipes. You may have seen that in different videos. Also that one, that's a John Aged Burley pipe. Yeah, sorry for, I don't know, not being too kind to the pipes. Some guys that complain about that. How do you handle your pipes? So clean them. Yeah, well, I just do it technically. So just with alcohol. So my pipes are not some kind of, I don't know, done already. So yeah, I don't do the finish normally. So I don't polish the silver or something. Yeah. Anyway, my apology for that. Same with the lighter, by the way. So some guys always tell me, you use a zipper lighter on the meerschaum. So, I don't know. You're crétin. You know, crétin in French. French. Crétin. So, I don't know. You're not a connoisseur. So, some guys think so. So I think that's that may be a European thing. So, well, in Europe, if you use a zipper lighter for your pipe, it's like drinking beer from a can. So perhaps, I think. Well, anyway, so well, that's a butane insert. So it's well, that's not gasoline. So so anyway, so yeah, don't give me any hate mails for that. Yeah. Anyway, and now there's an interesting point. So I smoked those tobaccos simultaneously for, I don't know, 10 bowls. And lighted them up. Not at the same time. That would be difficult with two pipes in your mouth, but you know, lighting up, changing and changing over again. And so the interesting point is, the first notes you get when you, or I get, first notes I get when I light that up. That is for the Solani. Very different to the Mac Baren. Well, different as it gets when you have two burley-based tobaccos. So I think I didn't tell so far what Solani, what is in the Solani. So that is done by Kohlhaas, as I said, and I just have to take a look at my notes to be very precise on that. So they say it's dark brown burley from Kentucky they use, and a lighter burley that is from Brazil, and they're using a white burley from Southeast Africa. So 3 different types of burley combined just to get those different notes. I don't want to talk about the process they do and Mac Baren does after that. So we all know this complicated process with some molasses they use and so on, and pressing and getting things done for the aging and so on. So the first notes you get from the Solani, I think they're more spicy. First notes are more spicy than the first notes you get from the Mac Baren tobacco. And the strange thing about that is that this changes after, I don't know, 20% of the bowl. So very quickly. So this is just the first impression is that if you're looking out for sweet tobaccos and tobaccos rich and sweet and perhaps comfortable, so with a lack of dryness, let's say that. So dryness, not we're not talking about humidity here, but as the opposite of sweet. Your first impression will be that the Mac Baren Aged Burley Flake has the greater sweetness. And that changes very quickly. As I said, after 20%, that just changing roles. So the Solani then gets sweeter, quite sweeter. The different notes. So some bread, some wood notes, but there's also a nice sweetness. There's some kind of vanilla honey-like, but not as an aromatic. We're just talking about background notes here. And it's getting really sweet. And the Mac Baren gets more alkalic. So that's a term that's normally used for cigar leaves. So, and you also you can also detect the Virginia. So this is, we're not talking about just a slightly note of Virginia. So we have a burley, and we have a good portion of Virginia, I guess, because you really can detect the Virginia notes. The burley is not absolutely dominant. You can also have the Virginia notes, little hay note, not in a bad way. It's good tobacco. We're talking good tobacco here in both cases. So you won't get wrong with one of those tobaccos if you like the burley tobacco. So both tobaccos, great tobaccos. And I think for me, main difference is really that the Mac Baren likes to get more alkalic in a cigar-like direction after 20% or first third of the bowl. And that's a matter of taste. That's a matter of taste. So the combination Mac Baren uses is very typical for Mac Baren. So they use a burley, Virginia and Kentucky. And that's what they really do best. So they really know about this kind of combination. So and to do it in a flake and the press and the process, they're really into that. So to be honest, I'm nearly wondering why it took them so long to come up with something like that. So yeah. Besides that, different other tobaccos, roll cakes, and so on, that where they're using it, not the same combination when it comes to different amounts of tobaccos in the mixture, but where they use those components. So. And is there anything left? Let me take a look on my, yeah. So what is interesting about the Mac Baren are those really roasted bread notes. And that's what I taste. So that's my impression on that. So those roasted bread notes, really interesting. And on the other hand, at the Solani, this is more direction to fig, heavy earthy notes, rich sweetness. At the end, if you're not into the burley tobaccos, or if you are a beginner almost, you won't detect so many differences if you smoke those tobaccos not in direct comparison. So that was the reason why I did it in direct comparison. Yeah, and when you do, you really detect the differences. They are not so close that you could expect, or if you not as close as you might think, if you don't do it in direct comparison, just smoking one tin and next week another tin. I think I wouldn't detect too many differences. So they're still close when you look at the whole range of tobaccos, but not so close if you look at a closer range, let's say just burley related tobaccos. Okay. Both tobaccos, easy to handle, not complicated. They will keep their quality and their taste up to the end of the bowl. There are no problems with that. They're not too moisty. The tobacco quality is excellent. Yet perhaps to underline what I said about the difference not too high, I took a look at tobaccoreviews.com. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't stick to that. But it was interesting what the guys thought about the flavoring. So without talking about those different aspects, but I just want to show you, if you just take a short look, you see it's not that different. But you see the same peaks and same the same highs, same lows. So pretty much. But you have to keep in mind that I don't know. One is the Solani is based on more than 200 reviews, and the Aged Mac Baren, because it's a new tobacco, is just based on, I don't know, 8 or 10 or something reviews. So I just want to show you that many smokers think that they're pretty close, or that they're not too far from each other. And I guess that's right, unless you do it in direct comparison. So, alright, so the price for Solani is €11.60 here in Germany, so that's medium price tobacco. Absolutely alright for tobacco of that quality. Both tobaccos, as I said, really fine quality. I can't say about the price of the Aged Mac Baren in Germany, because there is no such thing in Germany. Sorry for that. We're just waiting for the Mac Baren company to, I don't know, to show some kind of mercy with us. Perhaps they think we deserve it at one point. They're coming up on the market with that. We're gonna see that. In the meanwhile, we just have to rely on our American friends, as we always do. So, alright. Okay. I want to throw in a third one. I know I'm just far over time, so I guess there are not many of you left now on the screens, but oh no, for those who did, I want to throw in a last tobacco, and there's a reason for that. So I wanted to compare this very quickly with the Burley Flake number 3 from Cornell and Deal. And why is that? So yeah, well, you know, Cornell and Deal, like coming out with several Burley Flakes. So when it comes to those Cornell and Deal tobaccos, a good friend he suggested let it sit for a year and open it then. So the packing very fresh, especially those real natural tobaccos. Just let them sit for a year, so and you're gonna have a different tobacco. So I think I agree with that. So and this is from this is 2015. So yeah. So. And it's really good tobacco. I just want to mention that because I was talking about different amount of sweetness. So the Solani has a very rich sweetness. The Mac Baren a little bit less, more alkalic, more into the direction of cigar. And this one is the third one, and it's even closer to cigar direction. So very alkalic and very interesting spicy notes. Good tobacco, but this would be certainly that's a difference between this tobacco and the Solani. That's really a difference. So this is one step further for me into cigar direction. So in a good way, but it has a really less. It's really less sweet. So there's, I don't want to say there's a lack of sweetness, but it doesn't have the same amount of sweetness as the Solani has, for sure. And that's a combination of Burley, Virginia, and Perique, of course. So because, I don't know, Canadian Deal, they like to do things with Perique, and that's one of those differences. Mac Baren, they don't do many things with Perique. So we all know they didn't even do the Three Nuns, which they produce with Perique anymore. So that one that has been a Perique tobacco, but they did it with Kentucky now. So that's what they do. That's what they really into. That's what they can really handle. So I think it's related to that. I don't want to say they can't handle Perique, so, but just not what they mainly do. They can do it, but, and that's the difference. Canadian Deal, they really like the Perique. So yeah, and there's a reason for that. So of course we all know the Perique is good tobacco, and gives a special note, and that's the same here. So that was my third one, but just wanted to mention that. Just don't want to do a review on that. Perhaps I'm going to do it another time, but just wanted to mention those are the steps for me. Well, guys, that's it. Oh, I forgot to mention. You see my can you see that here? That's a Burley. That's a Burley tobacco. So I planted, yeah, at the cottage, around the cottage, I planted 33 or something tobacco plants. So not all Burley. So I planted some Burley, Virginia, some Kentucky, and some Bud Geutersheimer. So that's a German tobacco, traditional German sickle leaf tobacco. So what is not done yet. So it's not time for harvest yet. But pretty soon, because the weather was very warm, and yeah, gonna start that very soon. But I already took a first smoke of a tobacco, of a leaf that was ripped off by the storm. So I didn't want to waste it, so I just put it in my little greenhouse. And 2 days ago, I just took a look at them, and those, I had 2 leaves on. One was already dry, and yeah, had a really wonderful smell. I thought, yeah, well, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Couldn't harm. So, and I tell you what, I was positively surprised. So I didn't expect more than something that's just burning and just doing something. So, but that was really Virginia. So that was really tasted like Virginia, full ripe sweetness, and yeah, that was really good. And I don't say that because I did it myself. I was really positively surprised. So I didn't expect much. So anyway, perhaps we're going to talk about that in a different video. Let's see what things coming up with on how things come along. And yeah, perhaps you try some tobacco growing on your own, and so I'm pressing that and so on. Let's see what we can do about that. Alright guys, that was my comparison between the Solani, the well-known Solani Aged Burley Flake, the Aged Burley Flake by Mac Baren. And differences between those bag keys. My apology for being far too long, I know that, but I hope you had a good bowl and hope you enjoyed that. Perhaps some Burley Flake or whatever. If you want to give it a shot, perhaps you do your own comparison between those. I think it's interesting, and hope you enjoy the summer. So guys, take care. Be well, and perhaps see you again.